After a 38-kilometer trip by truck, my new yacht finally made it to the marina. But getting it off the trailer was only the beginning. Today, the keels get glued on, the mast goes up, and the hardtop gets lifted into place. Any one of these could go very wrong. I decided to bring the boys to the marina today so they could get their first look at their new home, the Island Spirit 525E. Thankfully, the yacht had arrived safely at about 3 in the morning, and now they're preparing to take it off the trailer. If you'd like more information about the construction of this yacht, there is a link in the description. Agenda for the day here is that momentarily they're going to use the travel lift and they're going to put the the boat back in this corner over here and get it all on blocks and everything ready to start putting everything together. These are the keels right here. You can see there's one here and then one on the other side, and of course you have the mast and the boom sitting here on this. Once they get everything in place, they'll start gluing the keels on, and then over here they have the bimini top. So the bimini top sitting right there came on its own truck, and I'm sure there's a few other parts here. Yeah, you can see the cradle. So they're pulling down the cradle right now for the boat to sit on. They'll put those in the position where they need to be, where the boat's going to sit. So then they'll put the boat there, and then they've got a crane already standing by. So once the boat's securely in its cradle and good to go, they'll start gluing on the keels. The crane will come in, pick up the bimini hardtop. They're going to replace the bimini hardtop this morning and get it on perfectly. And then in the afternoon, they'll use that same crane to pick up the mast and start putting the mast in place. So we're going to get you a video of all that. Should be really cool. If you've never seen it done before, it's pretty interesting picking up that crane. And yeah, I mean, it feels kind of sketchy, you know, but they do it. That's kind of cool. They just welded some barrels together there to make spacers. This movable crane here is called a travel lift. This one's 75 metric tons. I've seen them that go up to like 150 metric tons. You know, that's just because they have more hoists and stuff like lifts and all that. They don't really get much wider commonly. So that's why you're kind of limited to the maximum size catamaran, because, you know, catamarans are very wide. They have a beam. So like mine has a beam of like 26 and a half feet, 8.2 meters or something. So it's almost 27 feet, which I don't know. We'll see when the travel lift gets on there, but there's not much room to spare there to pick this boat up. So anything much bigger than, you know, mine's a 52-foot catamaran, you're going to have a hard time finding marinas. You're already going to be somewhat limited having one this big, but you're going to have a hard time finding marinas that have a travel lift big enough to, like if you have a 60-foot catamaran, that means your beam is probably, you know, more than 30 feet or close to 30 feet. And, you know, I would not be able to haul my boat out here at this marina. They simply do not have a travel lift and the bay clearance to be able to pick it up. So that's one thing you got to consider. How wide can you get? Didn't even notice that they were already pulling the trailer away. So it's sitting on the blocks and everything now, and then they'll move the travel lift around over to come pick it up. You control these things. This guy has a remote control where he can control everything on the unit, so he can stand back, and then he's got guides kind of, you know, making sure he's got clearance on all the sides. I don't see anybody with headphones, but it's better when you have like headsets on, so you can sit there and be talking to each other. You don't have to worry about yelling at each other, but whatever. They've probably done this 1,000 times. Not much clearance on the port side over there. There's about 1.5 feet, but on the starboard side over here, there's like 6 inches. So it's maybe 2 feet of clearance total or on either side of this. So you can't go 2 feet wider. You can go about maybe another foot wider. So, you know, maybe it has like a 28 foot beam or something like that max, or 27 foot max. Really thick strap, obviously, and then they put plastic around the strap, because what happens is as the strap gets in contact with the bottom paint is ablative, so it comes off real easy. So they put plastic around there to keep the ablative paint from getting on the strap and then transferring to the side of the boat and everything. So that's why the plastic is wrapped around it. And then they've got a really thick pin that they connect the straps to in the middle. where it gets a little nerve-wracking. They're about to pick it up, you know. Do they do everything right? Do the straps gonna hold? Are they gonna drop it? I've never seen one drop, but I think there's videos of them. But, you know. Up and being supported by the travel lifts. Now they're going to drive it wherever they're parking it, and then they set up all the blocks underneath the hull again. So they got the mast off the truck already, and they've got the bimini in position. So now they are going to, they're going to lift up the bimini. They got the crane going right now. What's the frequency can at this yacht bend to train? They were going to lift it on to the hardtop, but no, they were just getting it off the trailer, I guess, right now, and they're going to put it back on the ground. I don't know. So who knows when they're actually lifting it on. My guess is, from talking to people, that they'll do they'll put the bimini on after lunch, and then they may not even get to the mast till tomorrow morning. We decided to take a little lunch break while we waited. This is a weird Aperol spritz, but whatever. Look at the lizard in the water. Monitor lizard.
Oh wow! It looks like maybe even a... What is this? It's a snake.
It's a monitor lizard.
Monitor lizard?
Mm-hmm. So they're going to be raising the mast and all that stuff here in a little while. We've already been waiting around here for 3 or 4 hours. We're not going to wait around any longer, so we'll try to get some of the guys to take some video as they put the mast up and everything for you, because it's hot. I don't want to sit out here anymore. And then oh yeah, they're connecting they're going to put the keels on right now. Let me show you that. So the way they do this is that they got these hydraulic jack lifts, and they built a special cradle for the keels. So then they put those in place, and now they jack it up. You're going to do it right now. So then they'll put they'll jack it up in place, and then they'll glue them on. And these are my gory folding props. Really cool. Look how cool those props are. So, you know, when you're sailing, they'll fold up like that. And then when you're motoring, you know, they'll start spinning. It'll kind of centrifugal force will force them out. So you do have a little bit of degradation when you're in reverse, because the force of the prop wants to fold the propellers back, but the spinning, the centrifugal force, keeps them open. So you have to give it a little more oomph, a little more RPM in reverse than you would normally have to do. But other than that, it works great. And then they're installing the rudders right over there. So this is what the prop looks like when it's out, right? And then when it's folded up, yeah, pretty cool. Oh, there you go. Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool.
There's a big space.
Okay, big space. Okay. Oh, there's enough space. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Once the rudder, once the rudder goes up a little bit, there'll be more space. But yeah, you can sit here. I didn't want to move these, but I guess I can. So here you go. Open. They're spinning right, and then the force pushes them back. How cool is that? All right, and actually you'll notice, so all their power tools right now are plugged into the house bank of the boat, because it has that much power, and you got all the solar going on. So no need to run electrical from the local stuff here. All right, so they're wiring up all the stuff on the mast right now, like we saw on the radar, and doing all those things. So it's gonna be another hour or two before they're ready to start lifting all that stuff, so we're gonna get out of here. Be sure you're subscribed to the channel to catch the next video as we have the mast on, and we're putting the boat in the water, and we're gonna take it out for a sea trial, make sure everything works. If you wanna see if this thing actually floats and actually works, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next video. Also, if you would like to buy my 1989 CT56, I'm gonna go ahead and lower the price to $150,000. It's sitting near Annapolis, Maryland. It's a CT56, 62 feet LOA. like a 16-foot beam, 3 cabins, really set up, world cruiser, ready to go around the world, water maker, generator, you know, lithium batteries, all that stuff. You know, it is a great boat for cruising around the world, full keel, hard to destroy. So if you would like, if you're interested in that, shoot me an email, bobby@sailingdoodles.com, and you can be sailing on that boat this summer, head down to the Bahamas or something. And if you do take it this summer, maybe I'll even show up and help you learn how to sail it. So, all right, guys, we will see you on the next video.